Am I the asshole for refusing to take my sister's kids after she destroyed my life? I 28F never thought I'd be the kind of person to turn their back on family. But when your sister blows up your entire life, walks away like nothing happened, and comes crawling back a decade later with a sob story and 2 innocent kids in tow, well, things start to get complicated. Let me take you back. I was 18, just out of high school and finally feeling like life was about to start. I had just been accepted into my dream school, a state university with a top-tier pre-med program. I had busted my ass for years to get there. Straight A's, after-school jobs, volunteering. I even scored a full ride. All I had to do was show up and not mess it up. Then came Megan. My older sister, Megan then to 2F, had always been the golden child. She was beautiful, popular, charming, the kind of person who could talk her way out of a DUI and into someone else's promotion. But she had a way of bending the truth. And by bending, I mean snapping it in half and lighting it on fire. Megan had dropped out of college after 1 semester, bounced between jobs, and was living at home again. My parents, or especially our mom, always made excuses for her. She's just figuring things out. She's under a lot of pressure. Meanwhile, I was the invisible one, the good girl who didn't need attention because I was doing fine. Then, one day in late July, a week before I was set to move into the dorms, my mom called me into the kitchen. She looked pale. Dad sat silently at the table, and Megan was crying. On the counter was Megan's purse, turned inside out, and my wallet, the one I kept locked in my room, right next to it. Someone had stolen Megan's debit card and spent $340 at a shoe store downtown. She claimed she left it in her room. When Mom asked if she had any idea who did it, Megan whispered, I think it was Rachel. Me. I laughed. I actually laughed because it was so absurd. I hadn't even been home that weekend. I was staying over at my friend Nina's, but Megan insisted I had motive. She's going off to college. She's broke. She's been stressed. She even said she saw me sneaking around her room. They searched my room, found the receipt for the shoes, the same ones Megan had been talking about 4 weeks. She said I must have bought them to make her jealous. I told them to check the store's cameras. They said the police were already handling it. You know what the footage showed? A woman with Megan's exact build and hair, wearing her own jacket, using the card. Megan said it must have been me borrowing her jacket. The cops didn't press charges because there wasn't enough proof. But my scholarship board, they didn't need a court case. They just needed the report. Scholarship, gone. Dorm spot, gone. My college dreams, dead. After I lost my scholarship, things fell apart fast. I couldn't afford tuition without it. And my parents, especially my mom, were weirdly cold about the whole thing. She said, maybe this is a sign you should stay closer to home. Help out a little more. I was stunned. Help who? Megan? I took a job at a local pharmacy and enrolled in community college part-time. It was a nightmare. I was bitter, angry. My relationship with Megan soured completely. I didn't speak to her unless I had to. She, on the other hand, acted like nothing had happened. 3 months later, she strutted in with a new handbag and new shoes, the same ones she claimed I bought with her card. That's when I knew without a doubt she had framed me. But no one cared. No one confronted her. I was just the difficult one for holding a grudge. Fast forward a few years. I clawed my way back. I worked multiple jobs, finished my associates, transferred to a smaller college and graduated with honors. Got into a competitive nursing program. Megan, meanwhile, got pregnant with her boyfriend Carl's baby. Then another. Carl left me for baby number 2 was even born. She bounced between housing, lived with my parents again, and even then, they still babied her. She never held a job for more than 6 months. Anytime I visited home, Megan made these passive-aggressive jokes like, oh, look who made something of herself, or wish I had time to chase dreams instead of raising babies. I never clapped back. I just limited contact. I didn't hate the kids. Eli and Ava were sweet, but I wasn't going to be their third parent. Then, 3 months ago, everything exploded again. I got a call from my mom. Megan had been arrested. Apparently, she'd been using someone's identity to apply for credit card. She got caught forging a signature on a loan application for a rent-to-own furniture scam. Carl was still Mia. my parents. They were both in poor health. Dad had a stroke the year before. Mum was caring for him full-time and couldn't handle two toddlers. Mum begged me, "Can you take the kids? Just until Megan sorts things out." I laughed. Actually laughed. I asked her, "You want me to drop everything and raise the children of the person who ruined my future and never apologized for it?" Mum started crying. Said, "This isn't about Megan, it's about the kids. They're innocent." I told her I agree they are innocent, but that doesn't mean I owe Megan a damn thing. I reminded her how I had to live in my car for a few weeks during my second year in nursing school, how no one came to help me then. Mum said I was being cold, that family steps up, that I should be the bigger person. I asked her why being the bigger person always meant I had to. About 2 weeks after I told my mom no, I got a letter. It was from Megan, from jail. I nearly threw it out, but I opened it. Curiosity, I guess. It started normal. "Dear Rachel, I know you hate me. Blah blah blah." But then it turned into something else. She actually apologized. Not one of her usual fake apologies either, she said. "I was jealous of you. You had everything handed to you, beauty, brains, freedom. And I was angry that my life felt so small. So I did something cruel. I made that credit card thing up. I knew Mom and Dad would believe me. I didn't think it would cost you your scholarship. I thought it would just get you in trouble. I wanted you to slow down, to stop running so far ahead of me." She admitted everything. Even said she found the receipts after and knew I never used her card. But she let the lie stand because she didn't want to be the bad guy again. She ended the letter by begging me to take care of Eli and Ava, she said. "They don't deserve to suffer for my mistakes." I read it 3 times. I cried. I screamed. I don't even know if it was from rage or heartbreak. Maybe both. Here was the admission I'd been waiting for 7 years too late. I didn't know what to do. I talked to my therapist. I talked to my boyfriend. He said, "You're not a monster for saying no. You don't owe her your life just because she finally told the truth." Still, I felt guilty. I visited the kids at my parents' house. They were sweet, confused, asking when Mommy was coming home. I felt like garbage. Then I overheard my mom on the phone with a family friend saying, "Rachel's just being dramatic, like always. She come around. She just wants attention." That was the moment the guilt cracked. Because nothing had changed. Even with Megan admitting it, even with everything I'd been through, my mom still saw me as the problem. I was the selfish one for not rescuing the same sister who burned my life to the ground. I left without saying goodbye. A month after I got Megan's letter, she was released early on a plea deal. Time served and probation. Due to overcrowding and the kids being left without a parent, I didn't go to court. I didn't pick her up, but she came to me. She showed up at my apartment door, unannounced. It was a Saturday morning. I was still in pajamas, drinking coffee, and she was just there. Her face was thinner, her eyes tired, but the moment she stepped in, it was like time rewound. Same presence, same neediness, like she hadn't ruined my life. "Can we talk?" she asked. I wanted to slam the door, but I didn't. She sat on my couch, fingers twitching with nerves. "I meant what I said in the letter," she said. "I was awful to you. I wish I could take it back, but I can't, so I'm asking you to help me now, not for me. For them." She meant the kids. She wanted me to take them in for 6 months while she got back on her feet. Get a job, find a stable place, attend her probation check-ins, maybe therapy. "You're the only person I trust to keep them safe," she said. And for the first time in years, I saw the version of her that used to braid my hair when I was little. That protected me from bullies. That snuck me candy under the table when Mom wasn't looking. But I also remembered what came later. I asked her, point blank, "Why should I believe you won't sabotage me again?" She went quiet. Then she said, "Because there's nothing left to take from you. You already lost everything once. I can't do worse than I've done." It was honest, brutal, but real. I talked to my boyfriend, my therapist, even a lawyer. The decision I made wasn't easy. I offered to help, but not by taking the kids in full time. I found a local program that offered temporary guardianship placement with vetted foster families for cases exactly like Megan's. I helped her apply for job programs. I went with her to a therapy intake session. I even bought Eli and Ava some new clothes and school supplies. but I didn't take them in. I couldn't. The part of me that still wakes up panic thinking I missed an exam. The part that looks at my degree and sees a cracked frame instead of pride, that part isn't healed. And I told her that. I told Megan that while I could forgive her someday, I couldn't erase what happened. I couldn't carry her burden when I was still learning to carry my own. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She just nodded. That's fair, she said. So I ate her for not taking in my sister's kids after she admitted she ruined my life. I'm doing what I can, but I chose me this time. And for once, I don't feel guilty about that.